Hi, everybody out there, VC people, audiophile lovers, Paul Simon lovers, one-step lovers. This is Tony, LPSRUS, and if you did tune in yesterday, I pulled the one-step There Goes Rhymin Simon out of the original box, didn't open it. I opened it later on that evening, did a review, listened to this a few times, the original first. And then what I did was I cracked this open, and I'm going to show you what the inner looks like and read a little bit about it. Here's the hype sticker. Try to retain the shrink as best I could. This will go back inside. And the hype is Ultra Disc One-Step MOFI Special Audiophile Edition, limited to 10,000 units. 1/4 inch, 15 inch per second Dolby A analog master tape to a DSD 256 digital file. So we'll talk about that, what that is. To analog console and the lathe. So the transparency is on here, and I'm going to go over that. A DSD 256 is 11.2 megahertz sampling rate, has a resolution up to 256 times better than the resolution of a standard CD. So that's good because, you know, it's a CD, right? Your ears will immediately realize the full potential of your playback system upon listening to the DSD 256 format. It is the highest audio resolution format available today. And then it has a niche digital music format for audiophiles. And that's from a Google website. 256. And here we have the standard packaging with the number on the back. It's like we said, 270. Very nice. This was in perfect condition. So we took it off. Here's that. Has the foam. I think this is too much involved here. It's kind of a hassle to get the records out. They're hard to manage with, you know, some of us guys are harder to manage. Here you have the foam, which is supposed to protect it. Here we have the normal stat sheet on what is a one-step. And the first time we saw this was with the Abraxas album, which we all wish we would have bought. Okay, here's disc LP1. It's called LP1. And what it is, it's side one of the original on both sides of this in 45 RPM. And on the back of this, it has the tracks in gold print. And it says on the bottom, 45 RPM stereo, 1/4 inch, 15 inches per second, Dolby A analog master to digital, stream digital. And we have analog console lathe, and it says pressed on super vinyl, mastered by Craig Wunderlich, assisted by Rob Loverty at Mobile Fidelity Lab, and that is in Sebastopol, California. Specially plated and pressed on 180 high definition vinyl, super vinyl, formulated and developed by and manufactured by Nedtech. And it has here 1973, which was the original release, and 2022 when this was actually done. So this is a year away, and we ordered these in 2021. And here you have the protective paper inner, cardboard inner, and the record. This is to keep it from damage. And here we have the album. And unfortunately, we did get a split on the seam, even with this protective, so because it shakes. And what I would suggest that the MOFI quality control people do, or the packaging people do, is actually take the record out of this completely and package it and let the customer assemble it. It's not going to stop splits the way it's in there. It's very heavy, jumping around for how many trips that do they have to make from different destinations, different locations. Here we have this one, and that says the same on the back with the titles. This is side 2 of the original, split up on 2 records. And here we have a facsimile of the OG press, but this is the MOFI recording press on top. And it's not that great. It's kind of nice cardboard, but it doesn't hold a candle to the graphics and the ink on the original, the gloss. And this actually has a worse split, if you could see that. So we're going to talk about the content. That's what we're here for. These things happen. And I know if I call Music Direct, as soon as they can, they'll send me out replacements. If I have to send these back, we'll do that. Or if I have to show them photos, we'll do that. But they will help in any way you can. Just to start off, first of all the records were cleaned twice with a VPI 6.5, and I'm using this mixed with distilled water. This is a pretty good agent. After I clean them twice with the agent, I'll actually use plain distilled water to rinse off each album. I did the same with the OG. Keep rocking. So at first, like I said, I put this on first, side 1, listen to side 2. But earlier today, I put on side 1, and then I put on album 1 on this, which is the whole side of on two sides, one side 1. And this, my friends, has a perfect feel to it. It's just so warm and relaxing and so welcoming. I could only describe it as just a feeling of comfort food for the ears. It's like putting on a nice pair of your favorite Levi's or jeans or Jordache back in the day. It's just so well done. So well, look at the engineers on here, right? So well done. And I'm a Bond collector and a Bond lover for years. It's for Bond people when you're sitting in a dark theater and the titles come up after the logo of MGM or Sony or whatever era it is, and you see that gun barrel come out and Bond walks across with the theme song. It has that effect. First of all, this album is balanced perfectly. What MOFI had to work with, just tremendous. This is one of the best sounding MOFIs I've heard. This is a VG Plus copy, VG Plus, near excellent. And Dead Wax is sterling on both sides. PBL 2280, which is the catalog number. It's KC 2A. Side 1 is PAL 222802G, and it's also sterling. So this has the nice pedigree of sterling, and it sounds like it's a sterling. Okay, so let's get to some of the nuts and bolts. Perfect album, side 1 and side 2. It has a snap of the drums, you could hear. It has cymbals are perfect. Bass, mid-range, perfect. It's a wow factor. Piano, right side starts off with American Tune, I believe, is the first track. No, Kodachrome is the first track. Side 1, side 2, it's American Tune. But just a lush, all-encompassing, nice sound stage, good vocal. The vocals are right in the center. Paul's right in the center. He doesn't deviate, doesn't mix up. There's no fooling around. Second track, Tenderness, very lush harmonies, jazz guitar, sax in the right distance. Horns, the backup singers are tremendous. Track 3, Take Me to the Mardi Gras. The drum is mic'd perfectly, very wide, a wider sound stage with the instruments on the far sides. The guitars are usually on the far right, and the bass is in the center. No really tape hiss on the original. Very tight vocal in the front. And it's like slipping on an old pair of jeans. Like I said, it's really, really comfortable. So this ends with one man's ceiling is another man's floor. end of side one. Then I switched over and I put on the MOFI. And as soon as you drop that needle, it's dead quiet. It's silent. It's just a void, which it's one of the quietest one steps I've heard. I believe I haven't really gone back too much. It just hits you. The Clapton was different. The Clapton was a live recording, so I'm not going to give it the same quietness because you have that background with the crowd. But this was just dead quiet, perfect studio album. It's a wow factor. Everything is elevated, has a perfect balance, has a bigger sound stage. The instruments are spread out beyond the speakers. Piano is more realistic. Drums too. Horns are coming out wherever. The piano player, the playing of the keys, twinkling of the keys across the keyboard just sounded tremendous. Like I said, this is a perfect album. They had a great recording to start with anyway, the MOFI Lab. The tracks run down the same as this one, side one and side two. The first side on this is 3 tracks, then 2 tracks because there's 5 tracks on the side. Very lush. It has a dreamlike quality to it. The percussion is more pronounced, more organic, a fuller, warmer blanket. Horns are wow. The Dixieland horns that come out are just phenomenal. And we go to American Tune, which that's worth the price of admission anyway. All these tunes are worth the price of admission, okay? So with American Tune, same deal. Just cymbals, snap, percussion, piano, vocals are tight. The soundstage is perfect. This is the original, okay? Then we go to Loves Me Like a Rock, which is also worth the price of admission. That's the last track on here. We all know these tracks. I can't go through every artist on here, every studio session person, but they're all stellar. And like we know, this was recorded in, I believe, 4 different locations, but the consistency of the recording is second to none. It's as if it was recorded in one room. The Loves Me Like a Rock, which is the last track, is one of my favorites, and that's a Phil Ramone produced. I guess he actually engineered and recorded it, but that's tremendous. Once again, an old buddy comes home and you're talking to an old pal and you're listening and having a great time. Now, when we put on the side, the second record of the one step, side 1 and 2, first is, I believe it's 3 tracks. Let me just see here. It's the second record, right? 2 tracks first, side 3, and 2 tracks side 3, 3 tracks side 4. So 45 RPM. American Tune, incredible. It just hits you like a warm, like I said, just covers you, encompasses you. It's organic, it's real. Learn How to Fall, St. Judy's Comet, a little mellow, side 4, and then we have Loves Me Like a Rock, which is incredible. My favorite tune. So just to pick out some of my adjectives here, percussion is wide. Maracas come out of somewhere on track 5 or track 4. Huge snaps on the drum kit. Snaps are very vibrant, blows this away, and this is great. If all you heard was this, I would say it's all you need. But when you compare the two, there's definitely an evolution, evolving and an escalation of the sound and the sonics. And it's just, like I said, it's more vibrant. The cymbals, the guitar picks, no songs are alike. I would rate Paul Simon with Paul McCartney as far as the lyric genius and melodic tunesmith, wordsmith, Ryman Simon. There it goes right there. If Simon wasn't his last name, we'd have another title because Ryman wouldn't go good with Ryman McCartney or Ryman Lennon. But you get my thing. But when you do hear the attack and decay of this album, it's a perfect MOFI. I would highly recommend it. I've heard other MOFIs. I think the MOFI, some of the Eagle MOFIs that I have, didn't affect me like this. The Eagles have elaborate harmonies. It was well done. Don't get me wrong. It's the MOFIs are better than the originals. Obviously, they should be with the cost. And that's it. I'm just saying, there's air in between the instruments on here. So nice analog recording, nice analog transfer. But the images and space on here it just evades you. It just overcomes everything. It's just you fall into that world where Paul Simon has you in that world. The organs comes out of here. Some of the sounds are not as noticeable on the 33 and the third original that come out on the one step. And I just think horns that were distant on here are more prominent. They're not buried in the mix. Paul's vocals were always good, but here they're super clear. It's just, if I could say it, and if I could just put it in a nutshell, basically, the MOFI does improve very much on this, and that's not always the case. I have some original Dylans, 2i Dylans, Columbia Dylans that are real close to the MOFI, the original. Well, not the one step, but a MOFI. So this is a one step. So the vinyl is a little better. It's a super vinyl production that they have here. But perfect records. It's a timeless record. The tunes are from '73, but they could have been written 5 years ago, today, tomorrow. They could be written, and they're timeless. We have a genius here, and MOFI did a great job. I'm not a real fan of this packaging anymore. It's kind of hassle. You can't get in here. A record just rolled out. You have to be very careful. And I have stories where I actually, did some damage in one of these, especially if you're, involved with drinking, listening to records and drinking. You don't want to do that. You want to do that, but you want to be careful. So I would say this is too elaborate. That's what we're paying for. We're probably paying an extra $30 for the casing. And do we really need it? Yeah, I don't know anymore. 150. I believe these were 135. The new ones will be 150. On the secondary market, they're going to be 300. Shipping is more because it's heavy, and you still have seam splits, which is not cool, especially at that cost. But overall, like I said, MOFI will make good on that, and they made good on this sound. I know it's the analog purists. Well, it's not purely analog, but as we know from the discussions of last year, it's not practical anymore to use a tape and cut these lacquers every time you need a lacquer. It's not going to happen. Maybe with a new tape if they record on analog tape, but not on these. So, but these sound great. If you were to tell me with a blind test, does this sound digital? I would say no, it doesn't sound digital. Okay, I could hear digital. I've done it a million times with streaming with high-end systems, and usually myself and my audiophile gang that I hang with, we could tell there's something there. So that's it. That's my review. I have my notes, did my homework. Very organic, very articulate, timeless. It's a timeless record. It's a perfect record, and the one step takes it to another realm. And for my pick of the day, I usually put a OG album in one of these segments. And today it's going to be Elton John, Captain Fantastic. I love this record. This sounds so good. This is an OG from an original. This has the gatefold. This has a lot of stuff in it. I believe it comes with 2 books, 2 booklets of artwork and lyrics. Bernie's lyrics and artwork. It has a poster. Well, this one has a poster, maybe first pressing. MCA Records. Pretty cool. Suitable for framing. And then it has a little comic book with scraps, it's called. It's a little comic on the front, and it has the scrapbook of different photos, different posters and promo material, memorabilia. Artists, composers, singers, musicians are on the cover, and a little bit about our boys. This is the original label, but this record sounds really good. So if you get out, you see a Captain Fantastic. Elton John was riding high back then. They had these elaborate sets, all for probably a $6.98 list price back in the day. When did this come out? It was 74, 75. So back in the day, 75. I was just graduating, I believe, or they let me graduate. And this has Gotta Get a Meal Ticket, Better Off Dead, Writing, We All Fall in Love Sometimes, Curtains, that's side 2. Side 1 is Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy. That's him and Bernie. Tower of Babel, Bitter Fingers, Tell Me When the Whistle Blows, Someone Saved My Life Tonight. And what's interesting, just by glancing, this record's over 24 minutes long. This is 10, 18, 22, and it sounds fantastic. So why can't they do that today with today's technology? Why are records that are crunched together sound like crap? But, that's where we are now. I don't know what was in the water there. The vinyl was not great back here, but this record sounds good. Although to me, it sounds good. You may disagree, but that's cool. I just love it. I recommend the album for content, packaging. Elton John at his best. When Elton John was cool. Okay, well that's it. Need a drink. Keep rocking, but once again, the MOFI beats out the original, as it should. In most cases, it should. And just keep on rocking. We'll see you next time. If you need anything to talk about, let me know. Please subscribe. And if you like it, if you don't like it, if I made any errors, which I probably did, please let me know. We'll try to do better. Okay, thanks a lot. Tony's LPSRUS out. And let me see if I can turn this off. And keep rocking. Thank you.